As brave new dawns go, this one felt like we might be better off keeping the curtains shut.
Where's this going to bounce? Oh, just wide.
After stuttering to an opening day win against Turkey,
Payne looking towards that far side. The looping header is in. Kira Carusa.
the scale of the task that lies ahead of Carla Ward was brought into sharp focus with a nightmare trip to Slovenia.
Slovenia find the net again. Slovenia 4, the Republic of Ireland 0.
Prompting Ward to acknowledge that the journey to her ultimate goal of reaching the World Cup in Brazil is unlikely to be plain sailing.
This moment I'm coming into might be difficult at the start, messy in the middle and beautiful at the end, I hope.
Perhaps a trip to a Greek island can put a bit of colour into the Irish complexion, but they'll need to be wary of the opposition. The last time Ireland played away in Greece, their Euro 21 qualification hopes were dented by an injury-time Greek equaliser.
It's gone into the back of the net. A disaster for Ireland.
Greece against the Republic of Ireland is live from Heraklion in Crete in just under half an hour. Here is the table. Ireland sit in second position ahead of Turkey on head-to-head. Greece are bottom of the pile after losing both of their opening matches. Well, who needs a trip to Crete when an afternoon in Studio 5 in Dublin is on offer? Niamh Fahey and Rihanna Jarrett might have something to say about that. We will chat shortly. But let's go live to Crete first this afternoon, where Tony O'Donoghue is standing by. Tony, some significant team news this afternoon. What can you tell us?
Yeah, very significant news, Claire. It's lovely here in Crete, by the way. Our captain, Katie McCabe, has to sit out this game. That's a bit of a surprise. She injured her calf in the Champions League game against Real Madrid. We saw some of the training here yesterday, and she wasn't taking a full part. She was involved in the rondo, but they've decided to manage her minutes. So she will be on the bench, but Katie McCabe, many would say our most important, most influential player, doesn't start this evening for the Republic of Ireland. So that's meant a bit of a reshuffle. It means that Megan Campbell moves from centre half, left-sided centre half, to left back, and Jess Stapleton comes into the side at centre half alongside Anna Patton with Mannion on the right hand side. Then it's Littlejohn and Tyler Toland. Tyler Toland comes in instead of Heather Payne. She's here but unavailable for this game, might be okay for the next leg, but Toland comes in. Denise O'Sullivan will now captain the side, and she becomes the second most capped Irish player ever after Emma Byrne. It's 122 caps for her now. Leanne Kiernan comes in instead of Amber Barrett, so she has to wait for her 50. That might happen today if she comes on, of course. And Lucy Quinn on the other side with Kira Carusa up front. But significant team news for Ireland. Ireland's captain, Katie McCabe, sits out this one. She will take her place on the bench, however.
Yeah, big news from there this afternoon, Tonya. What's it like there? We can see the sun is shining. What's it like as a venue? Why do they move this one to Crete?
Yeah, the last time I travelled with the Irish women's team to play Greece, that was in November 2019. You can see the fans are here, by the way. They've made their way to the lovely holiday island. Not quite holiday season yet, but the reason they moved the Greece national women's team here is to try and get more support. That game, I remember, in 2019 had only a couple of hundred people. It was 1-1. Amber Barrett scored in that game. A late Greek equaliser put paid to her Euro qualification chances, really, although there was a playoff against Ukraine. So they've moved here to try and get more people interested in the women's game. They're trying to professionalise the women's game in Greek football, and they're hoping for better support and better results as well. So it's free admission here. They're hoping, they say they average at least between 900 and 1,200 people, and it is a great day, you'd have to say. It's 19 degrees. Kick-off is at 5 o'clock local time. It should get a little cooler after that, but hot conditions here in a game that Ireland really have to improve on and have to do better. They have their own fans here. They will have some support, but they need to show on the pitch now that they've got the ability to bounce back from that disappointment against Slovenia.
Yeah, they certainly do, Tony. For the moment, thank you. We're going to hear now from Carla Ward. She was talking to Tony just a little earlier.
Carla, the headline news will be that you're missing your captain, Katie. Was she one of the doubts you were concerned about yesterday?
Yeah, look, she came into camp. Obviously, she got a knock in the Real Madrid game in the Champions League and didn't train too much with Arsenal, and came in, and we've had to manage her load and her minutes, and yeah, it's one of those, but she's disappointed naturally, but also she understands that, you know, the bigger picture for herself and us, and making sure that we don't put her in a position that can put her out for longer.
Is she on the bench tonight, though?
Yeah, she's on the bench. I think the idea is to manage minutes, particularly today, and the idea with them building up to Tuesday. But look, she can still have a massive part to play.
So Megan Campbell goes to left back and Jess Stapleton comes in. A big night for her.
Yeah, listen, Jessie's, as you know, probably a nation favourite. She's a top young talent and somebody that's got huge potential. And, you know, her and Patsy, young centre-half partnership, but something that I believe can be really powerful for the national team moving forward.
Big night for Tyler Toland as well.
Yeah, look, Tyler came on against Slovenia. I thought she was excellent. I think there was no doubt whatsoever when she came on. You know, she gave us something a little bit different, and she's done tremendously well as well. And another young player, but a player again with huge potential. And I love what I see with Tyler. And yeah, I think she can certainly make us tick.
I'm sure you want to put the Slovenia result behind you as quickly as you can, but this is a game you have to win, really, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. Look, I've been clear. I've been clear with the players. Been clear with everyone that, you know, we have to go and win the game. We have been. I said to the players this morning and last night, this is the best I've seen them this week on the training pitch. The reaction has been, you know, first class. But we've got to go out there and do the business because let's be really honest. The only thing that matters is 90 minutes.
Best of luck to you today.
Brilliant. Thanks.
So Katie McCabe not starting the big news from Crete. Rihanna, maybe not hugely surprising given that we saw she took a limited part in training yesterday, but still a big call.
Yeah, obviously a big loss to the starting 11. It's been a long time since we've seen a starting 11 without Katie, but Carla touched on it, is that they're looking to manage her minutes. Obviously she's had a big couple of weeks with Arsenal and we have 2 big games in this window. It's not just all about today, but she's spoken about the reaction from the players in training this week, and obviously Katie's absence leaves a spot for other players to stand up and be noticed and to kind of grab the game and bring Ireland forward, which is what we need in this game.
Yeah, so 4 changes in personnel then, Niamh, from the last outing. So take us through this Irish 11.
Yeah, so Jessie Stapleton is obviously coming in for Megan Campbell at centre-half. We've seen her playing in midfield, but that's more of her natural position. Megan Campbell's back in at that left side, left full-back, and then interestingly Tyler Toland in as probably the holding midfielder. She's very defensive-minded as well, so I think it gives us a bit more balance in the midfield. And then, yeah, Leanne, obviously Liverpool teammate in at the right side with Ciara gone through the back. Ciara Cruz had gone back into the 9, sorry. So 4 changes, but I think looking at it, it looks like a good balance.
Yeah, any sort of screaming omissions for you, is that?
Not straight off the top of my head. I think it's a strong starting 11. I think the balance is probably a little bit better than, you know, the previous game against Slovenia. There was a lot of last-minute adjustments as well, and we saw Katie playing in that 10, and it definitely didn't work. So I think that midfield will definitely have a lot more balance, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Tyler Toland does in there. It's a good opportunity for both her and Jessie Stapleton now.
Yeah, balance very much out of kilter the last day, Rihanna. So is this team more balanced now? Is this the team to get the job done today?
I think so. Obviously, Niamh spoke about having Ciara Cruz back in that central focal point where we're used to seeing her. Leanne Kiernan back on the right-hand side. I think Leanne's been very unlucky over the last while that anytime she's been hitting good form with Liverpool, obviously, you know, being her teammate, that she's unfortunately picked up a couple of injuries, and we've seen that in the last camp. She unfortunately missed out and wasn't able to take any part in those 2 games. So it would be interesting to see. We're talking about we need width, we need energy, we need pace up in that forward line, and Leanne Kiernan is going to give us that. Obviously we've spoken for a long time as well about where do we see Jessie Stapleton in the future, where's her position. We've spoken in the studio a couple of times that we see her as a centre-back. Obviously she came through the ranks playing Rochelle's at centre-back. She's done really well in the League of Ireland, and it's going to be good to see her there. Obviously we spoke about we need a response from everybody, and Denise wearing that captain's armband, you know that she's going to lead by example as well.
Yeah, it wasn't just tactical issues arising out of that Slovenia trip. I mean, the character of the players was also questioned. You know, when words were used afterwards in the aftermath, humbling, sobering. Karen Duggan, our analyst here in our Irish Times column, said that it was a bit spineless.
Yeah, I suppose, I mean, those are qualities that you just naturally take for granted with an Irish team. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about hangover from the Wales and failure to qualify for the Euros and all those different excuses. But I think when you look at it, the first and foremost an Irish team brings is energy, passion and commitment, and I think those basics were very much found wanting against Slovenia. So a big reaction is needed. I think yeah, that's a strong starting 11, and you know, Denise taking that captain's armband as well will bring that energy, and it's up to the girls now to make a positive response after, you know, a lot left to be desired from our last performance.
Yeah, response very much needed. I mean, there was a flatness the last day. Would you like to see a bit more passion, a bit more fire?
Yeah, I think we need to see it from the opening 5-10 minutes in this game. As Niamh said, it's something that we're not used to seeing with the Irish team. We're used to that energy, we're used to that passion, and playing for Ireland isn't a given. You kind of never know when your last opportunity is going to come, and I think that realisation may have hit this squad. And Carla spoke in her interview saying that this is the best that she's seen them, obviously only her second camp. So from the sounds of things, the energy is up, the spirits are up. Obviously, the sun is shining in Greece, so that comes naturally with it. But we need to see a bigger performance in the first 10-15 minutes. We need to go and put our stamp on the game, bring the game to Greece, and not allow them to just sit in and defend and hit us on the counter. And I think that's exactly what happened in the Slovenia game.
Yeah, so changes were needed. Changes have been made. I mean, you've been looking at some of the major issues from the last day, and the big glaring one, I suppose, was the isolation of Ruesha Littlejohn in midfield. Yeah,
we look so exposed on the transition, and we're going to see in a couple of these clips a lot of our problems came from us being sloppy in possession. But I think, you know, having the single pivot with Ruesha Littlejohn in there left us really exposed, and it was easy for Slovenia in this case to get at the back line again, turning over possession quite easily. And look at the spaces that are there. People are trying to recover, but when you only have a single pivot in midfield, it's quite difficult to fill those gaps. So defensive transitions are going to be important. Greece are very good on transitions. Here again, you see the space. That back four was completely left exposed, and it's going to be something I'm sure the girls have worked on to make sure we're defensively more secure. We've shipped 4 goals against Slovenia, and that's, you know, just not acceptable. So yeah, it's something that needs addressing, and I think having Tyler in there, she's more defensive minded, will impact that. Again, you know, turning over possession quite sloppily, and again the space in front of the back four left to be exploited. They don't capitalise on this, Slovenia, but the dangers are there, the warning signs are there. So yeah, it's something that needs addressing, and I think those changes with the balance in midfield should address those problems.
Yeah, we need to be more solid and more back to basics in a lot of areas.
Yeah, it's, you know, we want to be, they're talking about this new style of play, playing out from the back, and I think we caused our own problems a lot of the time with sloppiness in possession, but then the balance needs to be there, the structure needs to be there. If we are turning the ball over, first and foremost, they can't be facing up against our back four and getting easy chances, which Slovenia really did. We caused our own problems a lot, so.
Yeah, I think on that, I think our issue is our setup when we were in attack. I think that we were a little bit out of sorts. I think, as you said, we were sloppy in possession, our distances. So as soon as we turned over that ball, we were always going to be exposed, and the distances for our back line to make up and our recovering runners from midfield were always too massive. Whereas if we're more careful in possession, we can not necessarily slowly, but we can build our way up the pitch, and we've got better players around the ball, which means also if we do in turn turn it over, we've got players that can affect it and maybe win the ball or slow them down higher up the pitch as well.
You're going to take us through some of the lack of creativity. Lots of examples to choose from.
Yeah, obviously we know that we shipped 4 goals, but it was the issues on the other side that we struggled with as well. You can see here that Amber does very well, and it's a decent ball into the box, but not in relation to where our runners are, and I think that was how the game went. You look at Kira Caruza, you look at our runners here, we've got 2 players outside the front post. We're never going to be able to score in those areas, and you look at how outnumbered we are. We then resorted to crossing or half shots from areas that we're never going to score from. I think we spoke about Kira Caruza being on the right-hand side. If she was a little bit wider, would have given the full-back an issue to deal with. And once again, you can say we've got loads of numbers in support of the ball, but we're just crossing from silly areas. We need to take pride in our possession. We need to work the defence, especially the Greeks. They're potentially going to sit in a little bit like the Slovenians did. They're going to have bodies around the ball. This one here, I think it was a great idea. It was great movement from Denise. Just look at how deep the Turkey backline was, that ball was going to have to be inch perfect to result in any sort of an opportunity. But there are positives there in some of those clips that we are getting bodies up the pitch. It's just our intent with our process is realising where those runners are, and it's actually affecting the backline then of teams that are going to sit in or are going to expect pressure from us as well.
Okay, so looking for much better this afternoon. Time for us now to take a quick break. On the way there, we're going to hear from a player whose undisputed talent has been hampered by a litany of injuries, but now playing regularly at centre-half for London City Lionesses, a fit Megan Campbell is central to Carla Ward's blueprint for success. You are welcome back. Well, we were supposed to hear from Megan Campbell there before the break. She starts at left back today, and we can hear from her now.
Megan, we'll start at the last game where you didn't play. That was quite dramatic. What happened to you just before Slovenia?
Just felt a niggle in the warm-up in my groin area, and I went in, got tested with Ange, the physio, who had just looked over me, and we came back out and decided that it probably wasn't the right time to risk it. You know, ultimately it's not about me, it's about the team and how can we best perform on the pitch. So we knew we had the numbers and the people to go in, no matter who it was, to step in and be ready.
Slovenia 4, the Republic of Ireland 0.
I think it was a shock for the whole team, to be honest. I don't think we've had a defeat like that in I don't know how many years. I think I've forgotten completely, you know. So yeah, it was tough on the team, and it was a tough loss to take. It was a big block, you know, in the way for us, and that's done now, and it's now about moving forward and how can we compete in these 2 games against Greece in a double header, and then going forward from that again.
It's heartbreak for the Republic of Ireland. This will take some getting over.
I still, you know, it still upsets me now, the thought that we didn't, you know, qualify for the Euros, but, you know, that's sport, and unfortunately you've got to be, you know, up with the wins, and obviously when the lows come, you can't hold on to them for too long because the game keeps going. And for us as players, it was about regrouping. We lost some leaders, we lost some key players to our team, and it was about how could we regroup and go again. We just need to take the pressure off Katie in terms of putting all the ownership on her, you know. But there's a squad of 23 that's here, there's a staff that's here, and I think it's a collective thing. And I think too much maybe ownership goes on to Katie, and yes, she's the captain, but we have multiple captains within the team that can do that role and play that role. They might not have the armband on, but that doesn't matter. It's on us as older players to be able to step in and go, listen, Katie, like, we're here, everyone's together.
The injuries that you've suffered, how did you psychologically manage to cope with all those interruptions in your career?
I think the psychology side of things, the mental side of things is probably the hardest out of the lot of them. The physical side, you can run, you can train, and if you have a love for football, well, which I do, then it's easy to come back to, you know, and obviously if given the chances, then the opportunities will come. And yeah, I think for me, more the psychology part of it was key, and I've no like problem in admitting that. I've spoke to psychologists. I have a psychologist that I currently still speak to about things like this, and I think it's important too, as not just footballers but people, that we are open and accepting of that. And you know, it's part of life, and you're going to go through challenges, whether that's personal or in your job, and how you can best manage that. And if there's people in place to help you, then why not take advantage of them?
Rihanna, we see, you know, today Katie not starting. We've a lot of talk about the recent retirees, including yourself, Niamh. So we need the leaders in the team to stand up today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Megan was spot on there. There's a number of different leaders out there in different areas of the pitch. You've got Megan Campbell, who's been around the senior team for a long time. We've spoken about Denise O'Sullivan, who always leads by example, but she's also quite vocal in there in the middle. And up front, we've got Ciara Cruz as well, who is well experienced. And we need those leaders to step up and grab the game and bring the rest of the team on with them there today. We need a reaction. And
just a word on the Greeks, Niamh. You were there that day in 2019 when they got that late equaliser. Mostly home-based players, but they have Sari from Everton in the lineup as well.
Yeah, particularly Sari is she's a top quality forward. Knows her from Brighton as well, so very dangerous attacking player, can play on either flank, so she will take particular mind in. But yeah, going back to that game, we were just chatting about it there and how difficult it was. You know, they were so aggressive, really deep shape, so it was hard to break down. So yeah, judging, it can be a difficult place to go as well when you're travelling away from home, all these different factors. And only 1-0 at home then when in the reverse fixture when we played them in Dublin. So it's not easy, and the international game is improving all the time. All the FIFA rankings don't really tell the story of how difficult games can be. So yeah, it can be a tough place to go, and Sari will definitely need minding from Everton.
Yeah, that gap is closing, but I suppose today is also, it's about atonement really, isn't it? I mean, as Carla Ward said there, anything less than 3 points is really unacceptable.
Yeah, obviously we've spoken about it, we're looking for a shift in performance, we're looking for a shift in energy, but at the end of the day, the same as the first game in Tala in the last window, all we need is 3 points, and we can build on it. Anything less is not acceptable, and it's going to leave us in a very difficult position.
And she also did say that maybe the last outing was a bit of a blessing in disguise, that lessons were learned. I suppose it was a bit of a reality check all round.
Oh, I'd say so. I'd say it was a massive eye-opener for Carla. You know, I suppose expectations of our previous campaign in League B were probably going to be plain sailing, and I think that first camp was a big eye-opener. So I think lessons will have been learned, and we're obviously going to find out now, and hopefully it's a good reaction and 3 points, and yeah, get a positive result here today.
OK, well, it is time now to hand it over to our commentary team. Maeve de Burca is with Des Curran.
Thank you, Claire. It has been a mixed start for Carla Ward, the high of that opening win against Turkey, but then brought crashing back down to earth in Koper when they were sent packing by Slovenia. A 4-0 defeat, Ireland's heaviest in over 6 years and heaviest in a competitive fixture since 2012, and certainly one that would have served to open many eyes. Now, these 2 fixtures against Greece with the aim to right the ship, to restore confidence and to lift Ireland back into contention for promotion to the top flight. A big few days ahead. So all set to go in Heraklion in Crete. Ideal weather conditions. The pitch we'll keep an eye on. There was a domestic men's cup semi-final played here on Wednesday. The home side victorious, so the pitch might be bearing the effects a little bit of that one. Temperatures in the high teens. And we'll keep tabs on the other game as well today in Ljubljana. That is Slovenia against Turkey. These double headers assume such a significance, particularly as in Ireland's case when you come up short in one of the games played already. Croatian officials led by Jelena Pekovic as the two teams go through their final preparations. Let's bring you the 11s. 4 changes for Greece from their last out loss in Istanbul. Zoe Nasi last featured in their opening Euro qualifier defeat to Poland. She returns in goal. A notable omission is the veteran captain Eleni Kakambuki, who's named on the bench. 19-year-old Martina Ntarzanu wins just her second cap. Maria Miku, 11 years her senior, one of 2 in the 11 from the domestic dominant force PAOK. And the scoring threat likely to come from Everton's Beatriki Sari and Anastasia Spiridonidou of Panathinaikos, who grabbed that late equaliser in the 1-1 against the Republic of Ireland back in 2019. Carla Ward, having already lost Heather Payne to an ankle injury, sends out an 11 also without her captain Katie McCabe. A knock picked up in Arsenal's thrilling Champions League comeback against Real Madrid sees her fit enough only for the bench. Jessie Stapleton comes in at centre-back in place of Megan Connolly. Megan Campbell, who cried off late in Slovenia, is fit to return. Tyler Toland wins her 22nd cap in midfield. And there's also a start for Liverpool's Leanne Kiernan. Maeve de Burca alongside me. Maeve, your thoughts on that Ireland selection?
Yeah, I'm excited about it, to be honest. Like you said, 4 changes, 3 of them probably enforced with injuries, but yeah, looking forward to see Leanne Kiernan probably in particular up front, and Jessie Stapleton too is well able, and I think Tolan there in alongside Little John should provide that bit more defensive stability that I think was really lacking away to Slovenia.
Greece led but lost here in their group opener against Slovenia in front of what was an official attendance of just 350. First home defeat that was for them in 5, but tickets free today and hopeful of a crowd of in and around 1,500. While the 2027 World Cup qualifiers might still be a ways in the distance, for Carla Ward every game between now and then an important one. We know now once the dust settles in this group, it will be off to the US in June for a 2-game test of the Irish metal in Colorado and Ohio. But will they head there, having got this Nations League promotion push back on track? Sides will meet again on Tuesday in Tala. And then after that, for the Republic of Ireland in May, it's off to Turkey, and in June it's down to Cork to take on Slovenia to wrap up the group, which has been headline grabbing already for good and bad reasons. What will fortune hold in store for the Republic of Ireland today? Early touch for Jessie Stapleton. Clipped forward by Megan Campbell, looking for the run of the captain of the day, Denise O'Sullivan. Out sharply the recall goalkeeper, Zoe Nassi of Panathinaikos. 6 of the starting 11 home-based. The midfielders in Germany with Union Berlin. Domestically, it does look like there might be a little bit of a sea change on the way in Greek football. PAOK incredibly have won 18 of the last 19 domestic titles. But they're currently off the pace, being set by AEK Athens and Panathinaikos. Both of whom, along with PAOK, are well represented in the starting 11. There is the boss, Alexandros Katikaridis. 2 years ago promoted from the assistant manager role. Now here is Sari, teammate of Heather Payne and Courtney Brosnan at Everton. And done it again. For Mannion, looking for a route out here. Sari not allowing her an easy one. Anna Patton, really no space at all to operate in, but Mannion did well. Final touch off a blue shirt and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, did well to get out of that little tricky situation there. It's one thing we don't want to do is concede early. Obviously conceded in the 3rd minute against Slovenia, so it's definitely something I'm sure will be in the back of their minds, just to start with patience here and just try to work their way into the game.
You look at Tyler Toland and Rusha Littlejohn of Blackburn Rovers, and of course now Shamrock Rovers respectively. Almost starting off as 2 sixes in there. There was a lot of talk about how open Ireland were in Slovenia when the ball was turned over.
Yeah, definitely. It was really evident, I think, for anyone watching on to see just the gaps there were huge gaps between the lines, and Rusha was quite often left on her own there in huge acres of space in the middle of the pitch. So I think having Tyler in alongside her should definitely, like I said, just provide that stability.
A problem here for the captain Eleni Marcu, who was just nudged into the advertising hoarding. Took one right in the ribs there. Marcu, 70+ caps. Has played in Cyprus, at home, in Germany and Switzerland, success wherever she's been. And one of the more experienced members in club football, as well as a player who's played in the Champions League group stages. Kakambuki on the bench. Marcu, her fitness is being watched at the moment. Not often you see a number 9 playing centre half, but that's her number, and that's where she is today. Cooney, 20-year-old from PAOK, sitting off down this left-hand side, well-regarded young centre half. She's trying to get out of a little bit of a tight spot there, which she's managed to do. Now an early ball sent forward, and Jessie Stapleton with some work to do. Spirit Onadu reverses it, and the shot was on. And they built it well. And in the end, it was Ioana Papatheodorou with an effort that's sliced well wide.
Yeah, we just see the long ball there. Patton was slightly ahead of Stapleton, but they did well to slow it down and then just force the error from Greece.
Good bit of work from Anastasia Spiridonidou. 55th cap here, 19 goals, including that aforementioned one against the Republic of Ireland. Aoife Mannion, who after the last international break got a couple of starts in the WSL for Manchester United before the Canadian international Jade Riviere returned. Tolan stabs it on to O'Sullivan. Dispossessed, but it breaks for Leanne Kiernan. She needs to show her pace down this right-hand side. Challenge goes in. Ireland appeal. And the referee gives herself a moment and gives it as a goal kick.
I think Kiernan will be really keen to make an impact from the start. She hasn't got too many opportunities of late, so she's in place of Amber Barrett, and yeah, I think she'll be having a point to prove.
Restart taken short. Ireland not inclined to go and press it. Carissa standing off. And Greece happy to keep it. The centre halves and the goalkeeper. There's Cooney again. Looking for that long ball forward, slip back infield towards Moraitu of Union Berlin. Marku looks fully recovered, and then it's Cooney. Back to the goalkeeper once more. Beaten 2-1 here by Slovenia, lost 1-0 away in Istanbul against Turkey, so chasing their first points of this group, Greece. Pretty wretched record in the Nations League. This is a 9th game. They've won 1 and lost 7. You get the feeling for both sides that that first goal is an important one.
Definitely, I think it's going to be really influential in this game, and I'm sure Ireland will be eager to get on the score sheet as early as possible, because the longer it goes on, obviously it's going to favour Greece. They've actually started quite well, Greece. You can see them moving the ball around with confidence. Not something, you know, given they're ranked 61st in the world, they're passing it around quite nicely in the opening stages.
And that one just nicked away from Megan Campbell, but not enough room on that far side to make further progress for Natarzanu, the 19-year-old. Ireland exploring down that left-hand side. Carissa getting involved. Littlejohn. Already a couple of goals for Shamrock Rovers, and in a spectacular fashion as well. Cross hoisted in on Leanne Kiernan, attacking it aggressively, just couldn't quite get to the pitch of it. Cooney looking for a route out. And squeezed by Denise O'Sullivan.
A positive play from Ireland, and it all started with actually a long throw from Megan on the left side, and that's, with her playing at left back, it's kind of, we can utilise her throw probably a bit more easily. It's not a big process to get her in place to take the throw in, and like that it could be something we can catch Greece, you know, maybe catch them napping a little bit if she can get on the ball quickly from throw-ins.
Jessie Stapleton has settled well, picking her passes. Kiernan down the right-hand side again. 2 to beat. Greece ensuring they're not isolated against the Irish wingers. Mitku, one of the most experienced in the starting 11. Here's Aoife Mannion, draws Mitku away, cleverly done to set up Kiernan for the cross. Clear to the edge, and then a foul by Anna Patton. And Greece want to go quickly with Patton up the pitch, and that's a lovely ball. Not much support on the inside here. Slipped inside, don't dive, is the shout. And that was certain and confident defending from Megan Campbell as she came across. Megan Campbell going well with the London City Lionesses, who've just taken over top spot in the championship ahead of Birmingham, who intriguingly they will go to on the final day of the season. Here is Stapleton, player for any position really, and you can see how comfortable she is in possession, and pressing on loan at Sunderland in the current campaign.
Yeah, I think it was a smart move for Jessie to go to Sunderland. You know, we can see now she's playing more, and you know, she started confidently here, albeit not tested defensively yet, but still she provides that quality, so we can play out from the back.
And a Patton tempted by a big switch out to the left-hand side via Stapleton. It does go to Campbell, looking to let's set Lucy Quinn going here. Maria Palama is there to defend the right side of the three centre halves. Not always a defensive system they've used under their current manager, but that's what he's gone with this evening. And now the long throw on the way from Megan Campbell.
Not much space for a run-up.
I think that might have been factored into the positioning of the advertising here, or at least that white line. Arcs around and hurls it into the penalty area. And following up was Rusha Littlejohn. Final touch of a white jersey and out for a goal kick.
She's always willing to take the shot on Rusha. We just see the ball in here from Megan. Obviously doesn't reach the same distances as it would with the long run up, and Rusha, not her best connection with the ball, but she's not afraid to try the spectacular like she did in Eamon DC Park at the weekend from the halfway line.
Fantastic for the domestic league to see her in at Shamrock Rovers. All the experience she will bring. Looks like already it will be quite a title run in the domestic league this season. Just a point is it separating the top four. And that team to foul by Denise O'Sullivan. Nassi. Right down the middle, the flick on, and Spiro Donadu is running again. A touch yet movement on that right-hand side. The direct approach, they're finding some gaps with the ball out from the back crease, biding their time and picking it as well. And a Patton, ever present League and Cup for Aston Villa this season. Kiernan dealt with in fairly ferocious fashion, three players around her. Midku looking for an option. Closing down by O'Sullivan. Denise O'Sullivan, whose domestic season in the US just underway, 3 games in. For she and Kira Carusa, as Midku sends it in, volleyed away by Stapleton. And the offside flag up. He's yet to make a major finals, bar the 2004 Olympics. Something they're chasing. Their manager, though, has said he's got to be practical, that to get to a European Championship finals, there's 16 top teams there, and they're some way off that just yet. There's the offside as Jessie Stapleton stepped up. Read the pass and the timing of it well.
Yeah, it's good to see that cohesion in the back line, having a line like that she can just step up when needed, and you know, even though it's a new back four as such, it's good to see that kind of coordination and communication between them, obviously, as well.
Midku again looking to arc that one in behind. Stapleton on the move. Very unfussy in how she deals with it. Likewise, Denise O'Sullivan, 2 touches away to Mannion. And back. Time and space for Anna Patton. Stapleton certainly one who'll be hoping that the change of manager maybe brings a lot more game time. A few others that's worked in the opposite direction. Caitlin Hayes, having played in all of the Euro qualifiers, still to find a place in the starting 11 for Carla Ward. Stapleton again, and just as she was passing it, Megan Campbell was retrieving.
Yeah, but it is interesting, change of management. You know, it is, football is opinions at the end of the day, and it just proves it there. Like you said, Caitlin Hayes playing every minute nearly for Ireland prior to that, and then not getting a look in at the moment. But yeah, like I said, it's just different managers, different opinions. But I'm sure those who have been given the chance to start today, they'll know it's for some of them it could possibly be a rare opportunity, so they'll be trying to make the most of it.
And Caitlin Hayes' defence as well. She left being a regular and a star of that Celtic team to further her career with Brighton. Just 3 appearances there so far, so maybe that factored into the situation as well. 7 previous meetings of the nations, Ireland unbeaten, and Greece have managed just 2 goals in those 7 games. In the 2003 World Cup qualifications, 5-0 at Dalymount, 3-1 for Ireland in Greece. Olivia O'Toole, Ireland's record scorer, scored 4 over those 2 games. Spiridonidou works it inside. Just trying to get that yard of space to get a shot away, which they do in the end, but sting taken out of that effort of Sari, and comfortably taken by Courtney Brosnan, her Everton teammate.
Yeah, we just see it again. I suppose Greece's first half chance, like Niamh mentioned before the game, Sari is always danger when she's on the ball, and she's proven that, you know, for Everton in the WSL as well, and she's definitely one that we're just going to have to pay a little bit more attention to, and make sure that, like that, we do close down every opportunity she gets.
Ireland moving this well. Toland on first time from Littlejohn. Just couldn't quite link up with Lucy Quinn. She's gone on the record, Rusha Littlejohn. She's that ongoing Achilles issue, and says the Shamrock Rovers accommodate her in terms of how much she can train. Jan Kiernan wins it back, and now Aoife Mannion. Patton. So Sullivan on the move, wants it into feet, gets it into feet. Close control, as good as anyone's in the game. Denise O'Sullivan draws the free kick there.
Yeah, she's always a joy to watch, Denise, and you know, young players watching on should be looking at how close, like I said, she does control it. The ball is pinged into her and she always makes it stick. It's really important for a centre mid to have that quality, and you know, she always allows us to link up the defence to attack.
She shared some big news off the pitch recently as well, so congratulations to her on that front. Certainly key again for Ireland today. And Megan Campbell all the way across to wrap her left foot around this one. Great start, defensive line right on the 18. And Nazi have to deal with this, the goalkeeper. It's heading in her direction. Deal with it she does. And bravely too. 2 strong fists to it, and then caught. And feeling the effects, the life of a goalkeeper.
We just see it again, very straight ball in from Megan. Nazi comes up to get it, and Patton just follows through. In fairness, it was probably her momentum there. I don't think there was any malice in it, and seems like the keeper's all set to go again, and probably from a Greece perspective, no harm just to take a little bit of the momentum out of the game. I thought Ireland were working it well in the last few minutes.
She was voted the domestic goalkeeper of the year 2 seasons ago, and intriguingly last season scored a couple of penalties. Zoe Nassi. Not sure she'll be on one today if they get it. Here's Denise O'Sullivan. Toland towards Lucy Quinn, headed away by Palama. This is picked up by Littlejohn. O'Sullivan. Greece again buzzing about when Ireland are in possession, hunting in packs. That means there will be space elsewhere, and Ireland have found it with Mannion. Carusa back with Mannion again. Set it up well. I'm sure she'd have liked that one on her right-hand side. And well built by Ireland.
Yeah, another positive passage of play. Started with Jessie Stapleton sweeping the ball out with pace to Mannion, and then it makes Greece move around. You know, it's fine being patient and moving the ball slowly, but at times then we just need to move it quickly. And the opportunity did open up, in fairness, for Mannion, but poor execution in the end.
Which looks like it's holding up well so far. Second game in a few days. Good weather, of course, helps in that regard. Foul on Eleni Nicoletta Syke. Chance for Greece, 20 minutes gone already to just kill that recent Irish momentum. Here is Marku. Certainly no full court press from Ireland when the ball is back with the goalkeeper in the centre halves. Now Carusa gets a little more interested. Maria Palama. One of those operating outside of home. She's playing her club football in Budapest. Here she is again. Keeps it forward, little nick on, looking to get that front two moving again. They're certainly showing up well, Spiridonidou and Papatheodorou. It's one looking for the other, and more support arriving into the area. Oh, brilliant tackle from Patton, had to block that one. The threat was certainly there from Syke. Now an effort from a long way out, straight down the throat of Brosnan. But there's pace in that front pair.
Yeah, there really is. They look dangerous when they get it. We'll just see it again, the ball across into Syke, and then just blocked down really well by Patton, like you said. But it's just something we do need to be aware of. The Greek front two are really lively when they do get on the ball and defend it well. In fairness to Ireland, we are set up well and coped with it well.
Theodorou saw Brosnan off her line. Decided to take it on early. And now regretting that decision, the 21-year-old. Just her fourth cap. College in the US where she impressed, and has just headed to the Belgian Super League last month.
I just see it here. Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that one. Still looking, like I said, for her first goal, only the couple of caps, 4 caps under her belt, so still new to it, but definitely looks lively.
Oh, brilliant touch from Leanne Kiernan. Killed it instantly and away from Miku. Denise O'Sullivan looking to set it for Lucy Quinn. But not the purchase that was required to beat Nasi. Two sides have gone through that feeling out period, starting to open up now as we head towards the midway point of this first half. Spiridonidou, all action. He's on the go again. Angle tightening all the while. Comes off Stapleton. Campbell has to deal with it. It's Syke arriving. The link up there between Beatrice Sari and Spiridonidou. Showing the threat they will carry. Fabulous ball in. And Courtney Brosnan had the dive at the feet of Papatheodorou.
Yeah, we just see Greece again came from a throw-in, and Papatheodorou, like you said, is just, she's so lively, and she was ready there nearly. Courtney probably was lucky with that one, and now we just have to defend this corner.
Terrific ball in that from the right-hand side. Ireland survive. Now the in-swinging corner on the way. Athanasia Moraktu. Good-looking ball as well. Brosnan punches it clear in by Marku. Up in the air from Toland. Danger still not clear. Moraktu, but she can't pay O'Sullivan. Another shot for Brosnan to deal with. Certainly not shot shy, the Greeks. Any ball there to be hit, they're taking it on. Syke again this time. More right to. There might have been a foul there, but referee let it go. Played the advantage.
Yeah, Seitz, like I said, just ready to take the shots on whenever they come, the opportunity arises, and a relatively easy one for Courtney to deal with in the goal. And you can just hear her there, you know, giving instruction to the back line, saying that everything doesn't need to be done a million miles an hour. And yeah, she's probably right. I mean, they need patience, but at the same time, I'm sure the Irish girls will be eager now at this point in the game to try to create some, you know, clear-cut chances. We've had a couple of half chances, but really haven't threatened the Greek goal as much as we would have liked.
And Greece showing a confidence behind their current run of form of 1 win in 6. Technically the lowest ranked of the sides in the group at 61st, 3 places ahead of Turkey, or behind Turkey rather, and Slovenia in 38th. But as Nia Fahy was saying earlier in the studio, can't always read too much directly into those world rankings. There's Ruesha Littlejohn. Patton clips it out to the left-hand side. Campbell and Lucy Quinn out there, joined by O'Sullivan. Always happy to make that triangle. Uncompromisingly away by Palama. Spira Donadu is everywhere, back in her own penalty area now. Lovely drop of the shoulder from Campbell. Here is Littlejohn. Just couldn't keep it with her. Sari under pressure, and then scything down Toland. And now a free kick opportunity for Ireland in a good position. Littlejohn might be one of those looking at this.
Yeah, we just see it here. Really good use of the body from Toland, good strength, excellent play, just shielding the ball. Wins a free kick, and like you said, I'm sure Ruesha will be trying to hit this one, but Megan Campbell might fancy it as well. Just left footer probably favours her slightly.
Based on her last goal, this is a little too close for Ruesha Littlejohn. Though the one before that was a lovely dead ball from a bit closer than this one. So those are the two, as you mentioned, who are standing over at left foot, right foot option. Son to deal with as well. So we now see the Greek goalkeeper standing in the shade.
With Katie McCabe off the pitch, maybe Megan Campbell might see it as one of the few chances she will have to hit it. She scored a few free kicks underage for Ireland.
So Littlejohn rolls it. Campbell looking to tank it, plenty of power, but always rising. Big free kick back in 2010 in the Euro Under-17 finals. Semi-final winner to knock out the champions Germany. Cooney out to Midku. Leanne Kiernan, huge appetite for work. No matter what position, either flank or through the middle, she might play in. Played by Toland, 2 quick touches to get that ball moving forward. Carusa comes back to Patton. Zips it out to this right-hand side, Mannion. Spira Donadu looking to close down Jessie Stapleton, who shifts it, finds O'Sullivan. Spins away from pressure, Mannion again getting forward from right back. Well, the idea was there just to set up Kiernan again to cross. See the Irish side when Greece go hunting, trying to get that ball out of those pressurised areas quickly. Foul by Kiernan.
Just a little bit over eager, I think, from Kiernan there. There's probably no need, easy to say watching on, but we had Greece in a good position there, and she really wasn't going anywhere, and just, yeah, over eagerness, I suppose.
I just wonder from Carla Ward's point of view what the situation exactly is with Katie McCabe. That if this were to stay 0-0 into the latter stages, or for Ireland to find themselves behind, are there minutes in Katie McCabe today?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. It seems, well, from how she spoke, you know, pre-game, that they are managing minutes rather than her being out fully. So I'd expect, if needed, that we might see McCabe pulled from the bench.
Certainly some good options there. You look at Abby Larkin, who's starting now. The last 3 games in the WSL for Crystal Palace. Saoirse Noonan's got her call up off the back of pushing 30-goal season for Celtic. Quinn just struggling to get into it in the first half hour. Lucy Quinn. Stapleton across on the cover. O'Sullivan, delicate touch to get it to Quinn. Once again working hard to close out an easy ball forward for Ireland. Campbell. Stapleton peering into that piercing sun. Anna Patton. Strong work by Marku. Right there in the back of Kira Carusa, and this breaks for Sari. Looking for that ball over the top again, and Anna Patton with some work to do. Papatheodorou on to Spiridonadou. Saich backing up the attack and gets on it again. Spiridonadou trying to find a little space edge of the Ireland penalty area, succeeds only in giving it to Rusha Littlejohn, and now Kiernan. The diagonal ball across to O'Sullivan. Certainly that early ball forward, dropping it over the top, something the Greeks have targeted in this first half. It's been a pretty even contest so far. Greece as the side at rock bottom of the standings, I'm sure will be happy with their first 31 minutes. Plenty of attacking endeavour, and some efforts for Courtney Brosnan to deal with as well. Cooney. Marku out to Maria Palama. Eleni Marku again.
Yeah, I can
All right,
see. Say we could see that mid block. They're not really pressing the defenders so much when they have it. It seems to be just when it comes into those midfield areas that we're putting the pressure on, and it's, yeah, at times you wonder maybe could we step it up slightly, but of course then you're leaving yourself exposed to that long ball, like you said, to Spiridonadou and Papatheodorou, who are doing really well up front too for Greece.
I do wonder if that's something that Carla Ward might revisit, just to see, try and test that back three, see how comfortable they are under pressure in possession. Brosnan out to Stapleton. Megan Campbell. Stapleton looks going to feed Palama right there at the back of Lucy Quinn, who emerged with it but then lost it, and now Sari can stride forward with purpose and with menace and gets her shot away just over the crossbar. Saw her chance to advance. Yeah, tricky Sari.
Yeah, we talked about her, like I said before the game. Sari just has that threat, and Rusha Littlejohn, in fairness, did well just to put that little bit of pressure on her to make sure that she didn't get the shot off easily and off target in the end.
And Sari plundered 4 goals in their Euro qualification campaign and scored the goal against Slovenia in their group opening Nations League loss here. definite threat. Carla Ward down on the touchline in conversation with Alan Mahon, who's, I understand, celebrating his birthday today. Not a bad place to be, in the sunshine in Crete.
Yeah, I could definitely think of worse places to be.
Will be celebrating a win at the end of it. Ireland targeting 6 points between now and Tuesday. That man's side giving them plenty to think about here. O'Sullivan, Mannion advancing once more. Kiernan keeps the width. Now looking to check inside. Overrun it though. Into Seitz and out for an Ireland throw-in. See a contrast between the two Ireland fullbacks, really. Megan Campbell looking to stay out wide, look to work with that left foot. Aoife Mannion advancing and coming on the inside quite often. Sullivan poked away by Cooney, and Spiridonadu towards halfway.
Yeah, maybe it's to, I suppose, on the right then, leave Kiernan, have her width, you know, right-footed, and then obviously with Lucy Quinn being an inverted winger, she probably would favour to come inside, and then that allows, like you said, Megan Campbell to get forward, and that left foot, I know we talk a lot about her throw-in, but she does have good deliveries as well, and if we can just get her on the ball in those wide areas, get a few more deliveries into the box, we might be able to test the keeper. You know, even Ciara Carusa up front there, haven't seen much of her on the ball.
Breaking ball towards Lucy Quinn, who's quick and will get there. On the end line, back out she comes. Here's that crossing chance for Megan Campbell. Tester for the goalkeeper, who's done really well. Found herself between Kiernan and Carusa, but eye on the ball all the way. The wars again, but her teammates will appreciate what she's done there.
Yeah, I think she won't be in a major rush to get up, but yeah, it's the delivery you're talking about there from Campbell into a good area, and yeah, Carusa and Kiernan just, in fairness to Nazari, she did well just to claim it, but good height for the keeper.
Check of the watch from Carla Ward. I'll tell her there's 9 odd minutes to go. He's stepping up in the back again. Mannion deemed in the eyes of the official to be a little too aggressive there.
Mannion doesn't agree with her anyway.
All right, two. It's for a bit of space to open up. Cooney back to Nassi.
Can hear the call from there from Brosnan to Ciara, clearly saying don't go.
Yep.
So that's obviously what they've worked on. Don't press the keeper, and makes sense in a way at times not to go in ones. You have to go in packs, hunt in packs. So obviously you can just see it again. It's just that eagerness from Ciara Carusa just to try to, you know, force them into mistakes, try to get the ball back.
And she's a very energetic operator, so she's almost having to rein herself in, Ciara Carusa. Who's now at club level working under the former Arsenal manager, Yona Saidoval, who's left North London for San Diego. It slices off the boot of Maria Palama. And Megan Campbell on her way. Look at the long throw. Route to the breakthrough. Well, Greece have switched off. Lucy Quinn sets it there for Campbell again. Back on her left. There comes the cross. Denise O'Sullivan. Time to juggle with it in the penalty area until eventually Cooney gets to her. Papa Theodoru looking to run Greece out here. And a little bit of afters from Leanne Kiernan. Picked up by the home supporters, if not by the match officials.
Frustration probably from Kiernan with how the first half has gone.
I think the referee's going to have a word now with the Cavan winger.
she probably needs to be careful. Earn herself a yellow with another one of those, I'd imagine.
She's handled herself well there with the match official. Don't protest it, don't argue it. Not accepted, and on we go. Carusa strong, gets the pull back as well, and it fell for Rusha Littlejohn. At an awkward height, admittedly. And just couldn't keep that effort on target.
Yeah, I would see nice from Mannion, but yeah, that late left little shoulder there from Kiernan. She was lucky, like you said, it wasn't picked up because it's probably a yellow card.
You get away with that up in Kingspan Breffni Park, but not so much here. So just over 5 to go in the first half. And, not much to pick between the teams here. Anna Patton eases away from Papatheodorou. Kiernan swinging the cross first time. Marku attack that, but it's come off the skipper behind for an Ireland corner. Kiernan's job to be in and around the goalkeeper. Look how many blue shirts in and around the 6-yard box, taken short to Littlejohn. Waits for movement, Quinn. A little sloppy that. Grease stepping out, Lucy Quinn caught.
It was poor, really, in fairness. It's basic just to stay on side, and smart from Grease at the same time to step the line out, but you know, actually very, very close.
Shadows of the stand telling you maybe just off. Marku and Cooney. Ireland do hunt in packs this time. And Denise O'Sullivan stays forward. Carusa. Intentions read by experienced Marku.
Yeah, she's really led from the back for Grease. Marku in that centre defensive area. She's now managing the game. You can probably imagine that she's not telling her to be in any major rush to get up. I don't think there was much in that. Denise seemed to get the ball, but the official thought otherwise.
Mannion into Carusa. Looking to bring the centre half, Maria Cooney there. Time of this first half ebbing away, so Megan Campbell across again with just a step or two that she can take here. And look to arc that run again to get as much behind this as she can. On its way, gets plenty on it as well. Whistle blown nice and early by the referee. And Carusa and Patton looking imploringly towards her. Patton still asking the question as to exactly why the whistle went. I tell you, in the other game in the group, which kicked off about half an hour after this one, it remains Slovenia 0, Turkey 0 in Ljubljana.
The ref is telling Carusa to come out of the box, it appears, but we're wondering, is it a free kick or is it a goal kick? Because
just to update you, the group as it stands would have Slovenia on 7, Turkey on 4, Ireland on 4 and Greece on 1. Still plenty of time for all that to change today. Sari comes into the challenge of O'Sullivan. Mannion feeds Kiernan. Glides infield, O'Sullivan. Side working hard to get back goal side, and then Mannion Unintentional, possibly, and probably, but still a foul.
Yeah, it's been a somewhat frustrating half, I think, for Ireland. They've done really well in that middle third area. I think there hasn't been much play in our defensive third, and then that midfield third we're doing pretty good. And then when it gets to that final third, they're just, it seems to break down for various reasons.
Denise O'Sullivan in that more advanced number 10 position. Greece getting bodies around her as quickly as they can, recognising the threat there. That's what Ireland want to do, goes through her. Greece have been combative, aggressive, forward thinking in possession. Back to that opening game in Tala. The timing of that Kira Carusa goal, as it turned out the winning goal. The dying embers of the first half. Could Ireland find something similar here? First things first, don't draw the referee's attention. Campbell to the end line. Strong defensive header, and that will take us to half-time. The final touch from the 19-year-old Tarzanu. A lively first half, nothing in the way of goals though. Both goalkeepers called into action at various stages. But for Ireland, the hunt for 6 points across these back-to-back games against Greece has yielded a scoreless first half, so work to do in the second. We'll take a break on a half-time scoreline of Greece 0, the Republic of Ireland 0.
It is Greece 0, Ireland 0 at half-time in Crete. And Rihanna, we wanted to see a response from Ireland, but so far we're not getting that.
No, we're still lacking out there. We're still a little bit unsure of what we're trying to do in attack. We spoke about like trying to get the ball wide and looking to get crosses into the box. I think the pitch out there is very narrow. I think the Greeks, they set up in a back five, so I think the size of the pitch and definitely the width of the pitch helps them in terms of their defensive structure and shifting across the pitch. But I think that there's no real intent in how we're moving it. Sometimes we're keeping it really slow at the back, we're struggling to get Denise on the ball in the pockets, who's our brightest spark out there. She's always one of our most creative players. I don't think she's got on it enough. Sometimes our full backs are stepping into those central areas and they're crowding it, and as I mentioned, with the pitch being so narrow, the more bodies we have in there, it's actually easier for the Greeks to defend. And I don't think their goalkeepers had a shot to save, really.
Niamh, we have seen some decent build-up play by Ireland, but just poor execution.
Yeah, it's been a bit of promise in terms of our build-up play has been better, especially from Jessie Stapleton. She's skipped links at times and got the ball and really put some pace into the attack. But yeah, it's been quite timid from us. I think this is, probably one of our best opportunities. Leanne coming in, but doesn't get a contact on it. But it's good play from Ireland, and then we've had really limited chances. And again, it's a promising area, but the execution and the final shot is nowhere near good enough, and we haven't really tested the Greek keeper.
Yeah, and then in terms of the Greeks, Rihanna, I mean, they have caused us some trouble.
Yeah, I think somehow they're managing to find a lot of space in behind our back line. I think you can see it's evident here from this first clip. I don't know what way we're set up in the press, but we're giving up a lot of space in behind, and I just think that a better team with a bit of quality in that final third, and we're in trouble there. As I said, Jessie Stapleton being dragged out there, and a bit more quality in that final third, and we could have been 1-0 down in that situation. We do well to get bodies back and kind of limit them to a shot from distance here, but the space that we're giving up in behind, as I said, and here this comes from a throw-in. It's a great ball into that front post, and Courtney does well with Anna Patton to eventually sniff it out. But here we're talking about letting Sari run at our back line. We spoke before the game about her threat and how good she is, and I just think if that ball falls a little nicely for her, that there's a shot on target and we're in trouble. But something needs to change at half-time. I'm not sure if it needs to be personnel or it needs to be just a team talk or a guidance on how we threaten and how we break down the Greeks. But that first half isn't good enough, and if we see more of that in the second half, it's going to continue the scoreline the way it is.
Yeah, not good enough. Scoreless at half-time. Time for us to take a quick break. The second half of Greece against the Republic of Ireland is coming up very shortly. Leinster are 3 matches away from their 4th consecutive Champions Cup final. They take on Harlequins tomorrow in Croke Park. We've got live coverage on RT2 and The Player from 2:15. And then the wait is over. The Sunday game returns this Sunday from 1:15 on RT1 and The Player. Our opening match is Donegal against Derry. And the nighttime programme makes a return at 9:30 on RTE2. And we are back on Tuesday with the return leg of this fixture. That is Ireland against Greece from 7 o'clock on RT2 and on The Player. Then we've got Champions League knockout action on Wednesday as Aston Villa travel to Paris to take on PSG. Coverage gets underway at 7:30 on RT2 and on the RTE Player. You are welcome back. No goals in Crete, but we can see that Shiva and McCabe are warming up out there. Folks, we expect to see them sooner rather than later. How much have we missed, Katie, Rihanna?
We need a little bit more creativity. We need a little bit more width on that left-hand side, and I think that McCabe can definitely bring that, and Marissa Shiva can bring that little bit of creativity and energy in that midfield area as well.
Would you like to see other changes?
I think starting off with those two would be a plus. I don't think Tyler Toland has done really a lot on the ball. There's space in those pockets, so Marissa's good, you know, picking up space in between the lines. So if that is the change, I think that's a positive. And obviously having Katie on the pitch, I mean, yeah, she's one of our best players, if not our best player. So yeah, getting her on, getting some quality and delivery, and also add a bit of leadership as well. We need more impetus, and hopefully these two players can make a change now for the second half.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Let's hand it up back for that second half. Here's Maeve and Des.
Yeah, thank you, Claire. Welcome back. And as you say, Carla Ward, she's not standing on ceremony, is she? Double change at half-time as Ireland struggled to really threaten the Greek goal in that first half. Looks like Megan Campbell is gone. And, just checking, is it Tyler Toland as well? Yes, it is. So Megan Campbell, Tyler Toland off, Katie McCabe, Marissa Shiva on. A lot of talk again this week about Katie McCabe and her positioning and where she will go. But if it's Megan Campbell off, I presume Katie McCabe to left back. And Marissa Shiva with that ability to operate anywhere. So we might see Denise O'Sullivan just drop and maybe Marissa Shiva into the 10. Let's see how it goes. Need to find that spark from somewhere. 45 minutes to win this game now. Set themselves up for hopefully another big crowd in Tala on Tuesday evening. If you've not got your tickets, make sure you do. So here we go, second half underway. Ireland look to bed into those changes. Greece will look to adapt to them, I'm sure. Pressurised by Leanne Kiernan. Maintains that work rate on the far side. Denise O'Sullivan doesn't quite get there. Ahead of Eleni Marku. The referee will bring it back.
Just see it again. She just, yeah, obstruction, I suppose, deemed there, and good opportunity now. I'm sure Katie will get on this one.
A rare mistake from Marku, who just ended up overrunning the ball straight into Denise O'Sullivan. If they haven't realised Katie McCabe is on the pitch, Greece, they'll soon do so. Lovely angle for a left footer. Just having a look at the goalkeeper's positioning, Katie McCabe. And for cap number 96, closing in on being the 9th Irish woman to reach 100 plus. Ball placed with a real deliberate intent here. Movement in the penalty area. Katie McCabe is going to go for goal herself. And while Nasi was airborne, that was always going to land up and over.
She'd be disappointed not to get it on target. Just really need to start testing the keeper.
Looking at that Ireland setup now, it looks, at least in this picture, that Marissa Shiva is almost there with Denise O'Sullivan. Almost two number 10s, Ruesha Littlejohn behind them. As the FBI board looks on. Plenty of attacking players on the pitch for the Republic of Ireland now. Maria Palama sends it towards halfway. Good flick on from Papatheodoru. Teammate found offside though. Stapleton hand on the ball and game moving again. McCabe. Maybe still getting her bearings on this tight surface. Throw in from Tarzanu. McCabe suggesting she was caught there by Tricky Sari.
Yeah, I'd love to see us just, you know, when the free kick's won, just to try do things a little bit quicker. High leg from Sari that time.
Oh, not the greatest of clearances. Denise O'Sullivan looking to shift it into space. Here is Shiva, deflected it in! The Republic of Ireland make an early second half breakthrough. And sometimes substitutions are inspired. As a manager, you can live and die by them. Now, Katie McCabe already in the thick of the action, and it's Marissa Shiva to fire in her second senior international goal. And that is one that Ireland needed.
You can say that again, we definitely needed that one. Probably got the rub of the green, but if you don't shoot, you don't score, like they say, and Shiva will be happy to add to her goals. Said she just took it on, had the confidence to take it on. Not the best strike in the world, but she won't care if it ends up in the back of the net like that. Great time to score as well. Set us off hopefully now for a positive second half.
And double deflection in the end made life very awkward for Zoe Nasi in goal. And Marissa Shiva, not as spectacular as her first goal for Ireland in Tbilisi. But this one might end up being even more important. Maku, back to Nasi. Greece now knowing they need at least two if they're to win this. And that's misplaced by Nasi, straight to Lucy Quinn. Backed up by Littlejohn. And a Patton, and now to Mannion. Into the feet of Carusa. Looked for, but didn't find Kiernan. And Cooney can bring it away. Sari, not the greatest of balls to her. Mitku. And Nasi to clip it away out towards that far side. Up in the air from Moraitu. Littlejohn for Patton. Into the channel looking for the run of Carusa. Breaks off Cooney. Here's O'Sullivan. Kiernan. Faced up by Mitku. Only claim a corner. It's not going to run behind though. McCabe onto the loose clearance. Setting off down this left-hand side, riding a fairly crude challenge from Tarzanu. And making at the end of that for the Republic of Ireland, but a crucial breakthrough goal early in the second half.
Just see here, Kieran, I think it may have hit the woodwork on the way across. Yeah, just clips it to stay in play. But better from Ireland, better in the final third, trying to make things happen. And yeah, definitely the impetus from both subs, McCabe and Shiva, is definitely evident here in the first few minutes.
Putting that extra body up with Denise O'Sullivan, there's definitely pressure higher up the pitch from Ireland now. Greece not as comfortable defensively. McCabe enjoying a really good spell at club level at the moment. Arsenal have really found some momentum. Second in the WSL, not too far off the top, and an outstanding comeback in the Champions League against Real Madrid from 2-0 down to win it second leg 3-0 and go into the semi-finals in a joust with the European kingpins Lyon. Big games to come. Kiernan wins the latest Ireland corner, and McCabe on her way to take it. Ireland and their supporters well aware of what happened in Athens in those Euro qualifiers when Amber Barrett's early breakthrough goal was cancelled out in added time. So it's never over until it's over here. Could they find the cushion of a second goal? McCabe, that one going deep, and Mannion threatening around the back. Papatheodorou heads away. Shiva fancying a second. Cannons off the shins of Palama. More aggression certainly about Ireland in the second half. And Greece really yet to see the Irish half of the field. Sorry, little bump in the back from Shiva. Now operating in England with Sunderland, Marissa Shiva. Teammate of Jessie Stapleton there. And someone on the Ireland bench is the first yellow card of the evening.
Hopefully a staff member rather than a player. Birthday card for Alan Mahon, I think.
Well, he's either explaining away on his own behalf or someone else's. Bruce goes chasing the goalkeeper. And here's the pressure from Kiernan. And Ireland are pressing now. Greece managed impressively to work the way out, though. Papatheodorou felt there was a little nibble there from Patton. Referee not interested. Ball forward and Caruso off and running. But starting from an offside position.
Yeah, just slightly off there.
Palama with the hand up appealing. She was the deepest. Stapleton gets a foot in. Head of Spiridonidou. Little John. Pass red, and that's a cruel challenge. Tarzanu sent flying by Katie McCabe, who's less than 10 minutes on the pitch, picks up the yellow card.
See the replay again here. Yeah, needless really, and it's disappointing when you get a yellow like that.
First game she hasn't started since she was suspended for the game against England at Carrow Road. First time she's come off the bench for Ireland in over 3 years. Katie McCabe, and a collision off the ball there between her and Tarzanu, who were the two involved in that moment that led to the free kick. And both going to be called across here. The Ireland captain and the Greek teenager. Kate McCabe has just been booked, and there's a card out here. It's for Tarzanu.
I think we were all getting slightly worried for a moment there, but yeah, I think Tarzanu seemed to, on a first look at it, seemed to push McCabe to the ground.
So first movement off the bench is a double change. Two defenders coming on. Maria Paterna is playing on her home patch. And Anastasia Katsu of Panathinaikos in for her 33rd cap. headers on, but their first ambition here is to attack a set piece. That's floated in by Moraitu. Good defensive header by Lucy Quinn. Clearance completed by Denise O'Sullivan and Carusa. The header trying to spring Leanne Kiernan over on that far side. Pushed forward by Mitku. And decisively won in the air by Patton.
See the replay again. It's a bit of over and back there. Don't think there was much in that, to be honest, but obviously the assistant, I think, gave word to the ref.
That's a case of experience and inexperience in Tarzanu. Just her second cap, shot initially by Katie McCabe. Didn't go to ground. Katie McCabe did. That's what the referee saw. Anna Patton. For someone to come to her. Grateful that Papa Teodoru didn't manage to rub that one and get in behind her. Here's Mannion. Little John demands it, keeps it moving. On to Katie McCabe. Shiva scuttling from the inside to provide further width. McCabe again, the two half-time substitutes. O'Sullivan took it on the chest, then sets it for Mannion. Leanne Kiernan, plenty in the penalty area to aim for here. O'Sullivan deepest of all. And recently arrived Maria Paterna. Couldn't quite be sure what was going on behind her. Safety first.
Positive signs again from Ireland, and it's good to see Denise getting herself into the box in those areas, and Kiernan's been putting in a few crosses. It's at least 3 in this second half so far.
Here we go. We put this in.
Outswing around the way from the skipper as we head towards the hour mark. Moving towards the near post. Nasi's going to come under pressure here. Dealt well with it, did all she could really to get a hand to it underneath her crossbar. Katsu's throwing down towards Papa Theodoru, and uses her body well and wins the throw-in. She's the target again here. Mannion at her back once more, hooked forward by Kiernan. Carusa backing in. And final touch off Katsu. Made her debut against France as an 18-year-old. Numerous league and cup honours with PAOK, but now of Panathinaikos. O'Sullivan spins into space. Stapleton. McCabe. Lovely quick feet from Katie McCabe to find a gap and swings in a real tempter towards Leanne Kiernan. Big save! But toe poked in by Carusa. Well, the quality of Katie McCabe to the fore. And while the goalkeeper did well to deny Leanne Kiernan, Kira Carusa, where all good centre forwards should be. And there she is to stab in her 11th goal and give Ireland some breathing room.
Yeah, a goal filled with quality really from start to finish. I'm sure we'll see the replay again, but it was a quality ball in from McCabe, swung with the left foot so invitingly for Leanne Kiernan, who made a really good connection, and Nasu, a good save, fairness to the Greek keeper, but just couldn't keep it out of the danger area. And like you said, Kira Carusa, really good centre forward play, just been there ready to pounce, finishing it into the back of the net, made no mistake.
Proper centre forwards goal, that one, but what a ball in from Katie McCabe. And Nasi needed a defender to bail her out. And Katsu couldn't get there in time. So Leanne Kiernan has done her bit, an hour on the occasion of her 41st cap, and she's replaced by Abby Larkin, who is straight into the action. Dozen WSL substitute appearances this season before now has broken into the starting 11 at Crystal Palace, Abby Larkin. Always brings that energy and that enthusiasm to push forward, take on defenders, attack, provide. And she's got half an hour to show what she can do here. Certainly in terms of effort, intensity, all the positive qualities, much improved from Ireland in the first 15, 16, 17 minutes of this second half. Brosnan taking every last bit out of that one. Pathia Doru causing her a problem in the end. And for a throw-in by Marku. And then looking to keep the pace in the game. Throw-in towards Carusa. Lucy Quinn. Shiva. To find some width on the opposite side, right by Mitku. Here is Sari. Sent her teammate Morai too short, and Ireland back in possession. Mannion, always happy to carry it. Takes that right-hand side, O'Sullivan cleverly just waits in that space for it to come back out again. Larkin, cross, headed away by Palama. Shiva for McCabe, another cross on the way. And this one not quite as accurate. In terms of making changes, you often see managers say, you know, we give it 5-10 minutes second half, see if we can improve on what we saw, but Carla Ward reacted at half-time.
Yeah, she did, and you'd wonder maybe the Campbell one was premeditated because she hasn't played more than, she's played 2 halves, I think, of football and 55 minutes with London City since the Slovenia game, so it might have been a case of managing her minutes. And yeah, it was positive though to see her bringing McCabe and Shiva on as well, not waiting for things to happen, because really everyone could see that first half needed something, didn't know exactly what it was, but definitely needed that injection of energy. And yeah, the subs both impacted the goals. Shiva obviously getting the first one, and then McCabe been central to the second one as well.
And particularly with it being just a 6-game shootout really in these groups, and 1 defeat already, can't afford to hang around. (2-0) Ireland sitting a lot more comfortably now. Stapleton to step into those areas, draws 2 to her to give a bit of room to Katie McCabe. Surely a shove in the back, 2 hands from Palama on Carusa. We have had goals in the other game in the group, and Slovenia continue to impress. 2-0 up there now at half-time, home to Turkey. So they continue to hold sway at the top of the standings. 9 points to Ireland's 6. And it could all, the way the group is shaping up, may have come down to Cork in June.
Yeah, Porky Queeve, it's lining up that way, and you know what a famous victory the girls had down there against France the last time. And yeah, if things go as we would expect and hope they do, it could be a really big occasion.
Still tight on Tuesday, and a trip to Turkey in May to come before that Slovenia game in June. What a difference a couple of goals can make in terms of how we all look at that table. Patton and Katie McCabe in conversation about what the plan might be here.
Yeah, Patton is always a threat in these kind of areas. Her and the likes of Mannion too, Stapleton, Carusa, all up there.
Patton with a couple of goals through her 12, now 13 caps. Her deepest on that far side in an Irish shirt. Now she's on the move towards that penalty spot and it's heading in her direction. Her bodies went skittling and tumbling. And the decision goes the way of the home team. Moraitu left in a heap.
Yeah, I think it might have been Patton coming through the back of her there. Yeah, it just seems a little bit unfortunate, just the hands in the back, but once it happens, the ref doesn't really leave the ref with much choice.
And he's got a job in his hands now to try and find a way for the home side to get back into this. Misplaced header. Papa Theodoro on the move. Spirit Donadu couldn't get up in time in support, and Patton can clear. Just want to ensure now they've time to grow into that 2-0 lead, not give Greece anything. Decisive and confident goalkeeping from Courtney Brosnan. She'll be desperate for that clean sheet today. That Slovenia game, the most goals she's conceded in her international career. 46 caps in now. It was a chastening day in Copa. Rusa showing for it into feet again. Takes it in, lays it off. Larkin. First charge down by Midku. Larkin has the pace to get there and get it back again. He squeezed that ball through this time, intercepted by Katsu. Spiridonadu's given it away. One-way traffic in this second half. O'Sullivan and Littlejohn and Lucy Quinn. Let the ball run across her body there to avoid the first challenge. And picked up a knock in the second. Ireland all over Greece when they're in possession now. Carusa falls on the edge of the area. Littlejohn looking to loop one. And comfortably taken by Nassi.
I think Lucy Quinn might have kicked the ground there, maybe. She seems to be in a bit of discomfort, probably with her ankle, but I'm sure she'll run it off.
Just see with the two changes that Greece have made that Elena Marcu has gone from the middle of the centre backs right into midfield now. At the moment, pushing up towards the centre forward position to add bodies up there. Spiridonaду. Here is Sari. And goal gets Greece back in the contest. Abby Larkin back defending. In the corner to come for Greece.
Yeah, I can see by that tactical or positional switch even that Greece are probably going to go for this a little bit somewhat in the next few minutes. If they are going to want to get something from the game, they're going to have to push on a little bit and take some risks.
You need more presence in the middle of the field, and Marcu should provide that. More changes on the way as well. Swinging corner, decent delivery towards Marcu, who is wrestling for position with Carusa and Stapleton, and stepped over the mark in the eyes of the match official. To go. Ireland by 2 second-half goals to 0. Here come those changes now. So Moraitu will be 1 to go. She's been in the wars in the last few minutes, and the long-serving 37-year-old captain Elena Kambuki comes in, well over 100 caps. Spiridonadu, such a bright spark in the first half. She makes way. Unable to affect matters in the second. So Kakambuki, the armband passed on to her. The current league leaders, like Athens, having served Pauk with distinction over 7 years. And the Greek manager hoping these changes can work for them. Here's the busy Shiva. John in that metronomic style of hers just keeps that ball moving, overcuts it to McCabe though. Flick on dealt with by Stapleton, and there's Kakambuki. First touch a loose one, likewise the pass from Shiva. And McCabe gets a foot in to dispossess Sari. Second Greek player on, Sofia Kongouli, who was their leading scorer in the Euro qualifiers with a handful. There she is now looking to close down Mannion. Sullivan. Carusa, not enough on that to find Larkin. And mopped up by Anastasia Katsu. Clearance not convincing though, and Katsu will slide in here. Ireland persists, and the goalkeeper denies Denise O'Sullivan.
Great work rate as ever from Denise O'Sullivan. Just putting the pressure on first initially by Larkin. Just forces the poor clearance, and Denise was there just to pick it up. Did well to work her way into the box and just couldn't get the finish. She would have loved to get that cap off an appearance. That makes her obviously the most capped outfield player in an Ireland jersey.
122nd cap, and she'll have Emma Burns' national record 134 in her sights now, having bypassed Louise Quinn. McCabe, good delivery again, looping it in. Ireland have their third. Jessie Stapleton has her second at senior level. The glancing header on the McCabe delivery. And 3-0, and 3 points on the way now. She's been an assured presence at the back. Good on the ball. Playing out from the back, Jessie Stapleton, and then showing her threat in the opposition penalty area.
Yeah, quality ball in from McCabe again, and Stapleton, a smashing header really from that angle, running away from the goal to be able to redirect it towards the far post. It's real quality from Stapleton, and she's done that throughout her career in Ireland, you know, before taking the move across to England, and it's such a great sight to see her finish it like that on what's been a really promising appearance from her.
It got even better the more replays we saw of it. Perfectly placed. Greece looking to respond. He ran out of pitch and angle, and harmlessly behind from sight. A 3-0 scoreline will certainly help remedy the goal difference in terms of the 4 conceded in Slovenia. Greece just a little deflated now. Second half, that's got away from them. First goal from Shiva coming as early as it did in that second half. Psychologically so important, that one for Ireland, and they've kicked on from there. Much improved second half performance. Paterna inside to Kakambuki. Katsu. And now Mitku. Direct ball forward. Stapleton in to challenge. Patton there to help out. Now Sari sets up Mitku to cross. That one beating everyone. Courtney Brosnan maybe could have done with a shout. No danger in behind, and as Greece were left appealing for a corner, they're not going to get one. And now Ioanna Amaladou of Panathinaikos in for cap number 20. That's Greece's 5th change of the evening. She replaces Marku. No doubt they would have ambition of a point or three when they went in 0-0 at half-time, and what was a really encouraging first half showing Greece. And I think Ireland just showing those levels in the second half, that there is a gap between them. And it's one thing knowing it, you've got to go out and prove it on the scoreline. That is what they've managed to do. Patton, cleverly disguised ball inside to O'Sullivan. Mannion. Larkin wanted it fed down the line, but space was tightening, so inside to O'Sullivan, onto Littlejohn, and now McCabe. Sold Lucy Quinn short there. Stapleton steps in. McCabe sets it beautifully in front of Lucy Quinn. Here goes Shiva. Compromising challenge from Maria Paterna. Ireland not long until they have it back again. McCabe. And that Greece defensive line looking ragged. Abby Larkin puts it in the net, but the flag does go up. Kira Carusa standing almost on the penalty spot with no one anywhere near her in a significant way. And that is Carusa's last action. She's going to be replaced by Amber Barrett for the 12+ minutes that remain. A milestone moment for Amber Barrett, her 50th international cap. And she'll be hoping that a chance will fall her way. A chance to mark it with a goal. No change on the scoreline in Ljubljana, still as it was at half-time. Slovenia by 2-0 as they continue their impressive run in this group. Here is Mitku looking to take on Larkin, who pressurised enough to make it an unconvincing ball into the penalty area. O'Sullivan digs it out to Shiva. He waits and creates space, and now can look forward to pick her pass. Patton and Brosnan, trusting Littlejohn, and trust well placed. Papatheodorou just had to let that one go, coming back from an offside position. I tend to go. Overall thoughts, Maeve, on the first half versus the second?
Yeah, much improved, I would say, definitely. Just see it here, that ball in to Carusa. Yeah, she was offside, and she probably couldn't believe how much space she was in, and on that occasion. But yeah, huge improvements. I think Ireland's quality really just came to the fore. They put the work rate performance in, a patient performance in the first half. Frustrating one looking on, but they did the work they needed to do, and then they managed to turn the screw in the second half.
Not content with three. Ireland pushing again. McCabe looks for that little ball inside for Lucy Quinn. Unfortunate to see that one ricochet off her and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, and the impact of the subs, obviously we already mentioned, but also that stability I think we've had at the back. Throughout the game, really, I think we looked assured at the back, especially in that transition, which we did struggle. We already mentioned against Slovenia, the transition from attack to defence, and I think we coped with it really well. I thought the back four have been solid, along with Courtney as well.
Shiva inviting Mannion to go after that one. Greece managed to shut the door. Here's Sari. Booming ball out towards this right-hand side, and Papatheodorou tired looking past that one. Stapleton steps into space for McCabe. And certainly as well, I think the profile of the goal scorers as well for the manager. You've got your centre forward scoring, you've got your substitute straight off the bench scoring in Shiva. And before that, you also had, of course, Jessie Stapleton getting her second goal up from the back from a set piece. So you've got goals coming from areas where, as a coach, you want them.
Yeah, exactly. And just see that time, just all initially Katie McCabe, and then Stapleton did well as well, just to win the throw-in. But yeah, it's good to see the goals coming from different areas. Always nice to see centre forward getting on the score sheet too. But Shiva and Stapleton chipping in with the goals, who haven't, you know, had many in their careers so far. It's always pleasing to see, giving them more confidence as well.
Yeah, second each for them, for Carusa in 11th, and of course a second in this group, having scored the winner against Turkey in Tala. It will be back to Tala on Tuesday, and Greece will come knocking. Ireland on course with that stated target of 2 wins from 2 over these few days. Greece down the stretch here, getting a little frustrated now. Plenty of traffic, edge of the penalty area. Katie McCabe hoists it towards Patton, who's collided with Katsu. And the decision against Anna Patton again.
Been lots of those today, a lot of those coming together in the game. Ireland seem to have come off worse than a lot of them.
Palama to Paterna. Inside to Kakambuki. Now back with Nasi, who's had a decent game in goal for Greece, and still has shipped 3. Shiva. Patton. And it's the simple pass to Aoife Mannion. And can coast to victory here, and it will be a nice feeling. I know the group has gone to this point. Striding on, took an effort from Sari to go with her. It's in towards Barrett, headed away by Maria Palama. Just can't keep it, Greece, and here come Ireland again. Lucy Quinn, Denise O'Sullivan, edge of the penalty area. She crossed by Palama. Mannion, cross towards Quinn. He's offside. They'll fly back home tomorrow, and it will be a nice second 45 minutes to go home off the back off, won't it?
Will indeed, yeah. It'll give them a lot of confidence, like you said, especially after the result the last day in the first half here.
Final Ireland change. Emily Murphy is coming in to replace Lucy Quinn. Emily Murphy in for her 6th cap. Represented England up to under 19, but her dad from Rathfarnham and her mum from Westport. Good college career in the US. Now at Newcastle. Amber Barrett on the turn, and Murphy was sniffing anything that might fall her way there. She's out at Newcastle as well, opened her account at a local one, Durham, quite recently. And she just takes up station on the left-hand side. Sight might require some attention.
See the replay again here, just not a whole lot in it, I think, but a slight head injury, so the ref had to stop it.
She was going to ground, just caught by a stray arm from Denise O'Sullivan. Nothing intentional in that. I wonder how the Greek mood will be. 3 wins or 3 defeats in 3 games, heading to Tala, where there will be a much bigger crowd. It's a victory that will put Ireland back in contention. Remember, top of the group will go up to the top flight of the Nations League, League A, second into a playoff against a League A side.
Yeah, and that's where we want to be, really. I mean, getting back up to League A, obviously it's a challenge, but it's really where we need to be if we do want to be trying to qualify for tournaments regularly.
It was certainly a challenge Ireland got more to grips with as that really forbidding League A last time around unfolded, because you're in with England, France and Sweden. It was backs to the wall, defensive work, 1-goal margin defeats, and then he's opened up a little bit at Carrow Road, and a big win against France, as you mentioned earlier, down in Cork.
Yeah, definitely. I think we learned a lot from each game they played. You know, they got progressively better and just learned to manage games like that against top opponents where you're not going to have the majority of the possession.
Beautiful touch from Emily Murphy, and then McCabe has fed in Barrett here, driving to the end line, and an exhausted looking Kalama, who certainly hasn't let her head drop defensively, managed to get back and get a toe in. Looks absolutely out on her feet. Second half that started with Ireland on the front foot is going to, like it will end in a similar vein. Let's keep an eye on Jessie Stapleton again. Moving towards the near post, she's around the back. In tandem with Patton, that will come all the way through to Shiva, whose cross left something to be desired. Little John, content to go back to Courtney Brosnan. What will go down as the biggest pluses for you in this one, Maeve, in terms of personnel that Carla Ward has put on the pitch?
Yeah, I think lots of positives with that regard. You know, the likes of even going from the back to the front, we had the likes of Stapleton in there getting an opportunity. Kieran as well, I think, did well, particularly at the start of the second half when really we went through the gears. We upped it a notch or two, and yeah, I think they'll definitely have staked their claim. The likes of Shiva, who probably was unfortunate to miss out or disappointed to miss out on starting. I think she proved her worth as well with that energy. So yeah, lots to think about for Carla. Hard to predict who she'd go with for the next game, but it's probably a good headache to have.
Oh, Denise O'Sullivan looking to wrap things up in style. And right behind that one, you could see the angle. It was on target, and certainly drew Zoe Nasty into action. I'm not going to give you much time to think about it, but we've run through some contenders there. Who's your top performer?
Yeah, I think it has to go to Jessie Stapleton based off this performance. I thought it was a really assured performance there at centre half. A mature performance for the 20-year-old, and topped off then with that real quality goal. So yeah, Jessie Stapleton, player of the match today.
Emily Murphy carrying a threat down the right-hand side there, so Jessie Stapleton, Ballyfermot's finest, chosen by Maeve de Burke as Ireland's top performer here. Star in the making from her early days, playing on the boys' teams at Cherry Orchard, through Piedmont Rovers and Shells, and now looking to establish herself firmly in this Ireland team. Jessie Stapleton marking her 12th cap with her second goal. Katie McCabe hangs that one up. And it was Murphy going to threaten, and the danger might still not be clear, and goalkeeper was committed. Came off a toe in front of her though, and Aoife Mannion looks to the skies, thinking if only. Made good contact. She too chases her second Ireland goal. Very much a game of contrasting halves. Another header won in the penalty area. Greece managed to smuggle it clear. But Turner looking forward, not much ahead of her. Go easily and quickly, Ireland win it back again. No real threat at all on the Courtney Brosnan goal second half. Ireland in the second 45, and 3 goals to show for their efforts. Carried with purpose by Emily Murphy again. The cross too close to the goalkeeper. And she's not been on the pitch long as Sona. Some nice touches and some positive intent. Emily Murphy, just 21 years of age.
They seem to be playing with a lot of freedom now, Irish girls, once the monkey was taken off the back really with the first and the second goal. And yeah, they're definitely playing, like I said, a bit more creativity and freedom.
Little John, trying a little bit too much there. Pocket pick by Sari. Ireland in the comfort zone. But managed to scramble and recover. And Jessie Stapleton there. And Aoife Mannion can look out to that far side. Abby Larkin has a runner in Barrett. Lisa Sullivan through the middle. Amber Barrett has got the legs here on Katsu. Might fancy going all the way herself and does. Fabulous goal. Rifled into the bottom corner. It's a goal she's been waiting for, Amber Barrett. And she has taken it in style. The 4-0 defeat in Coper. And look at it now, a 4-0 win in Heraklion.
Yeah, what a way to mark your 50th appearance in green or in white today. Amber will be delighted with that one. I'm sure she was really eager to get on the score sheet. She spoke during the week about how much it matters for her and how much pride she takes in playing for Ireland. But look at this, where she picked the ball up, just drove straight in angle towards the goal and just made no mistake with that finish. Quality from Amber Barrett. I mean, really just placed neatly into that left corner, tucked it away beautifully.
Her 8th international goal. She'll always be remembered for Glasgow. The most significant goal maybe in the Irish team's history. But that is a beautiful finish. And look at what it means to her. So a first half that didn't go to plan. The changes made at half-time got Ireland moving. And have got Ireland back on track here. The ghosts of Coper exercise for now as Ireland spring back into contention for promotion from League B. An emphatic second half performance sees them run out 4-0 victors.
Yeah, fantastic to completely reverse that 4-0 loss, like you said, into a 4-0 win, and so many positives to take from that second half in particular. And Amber Barrett there with the icing on the cake.
Yeah, fantastic second half. Amber Barrett rounding it up with that 4th goal. And it's Ireland victorious with a big second half performance here.
Thanks to Des and May for taking us through that. Let's take a look at the table now. It is as you were. Slovenia still on top. They are headed to a 2-0 win over Turkey. Republic of Ireland second, and Turkey and Greece still there without a point. So, folks, that was a bit more like it.
Yeah, definitely. A tale of two halves. I think it was a brilliant start to the second half. Obviously, the changes at half-time with Katie McCabe and Marissa Shiva came on were definitely changing factors in that, and to score within the first 5 minutes of going back into the second half kind of set the tone for how the second half was going to go, and I think we kind of knocked the wind out of the Greek sails a little bit. They had no attacking threat in that second half in comparison to threatening in behind in the first. So job done, 3 points, 4 different goal scorers and a clean sheet. What more can you want?
Yeah, that's pretty good. And relief, Niamh, wasn't it? Because I suppose that first half left us all a bit underwhelmed.
Yeah, it was, like I said, definitely a tale of two halves. But I just think the intensity and the switches at half-time played a massive factor. Obviously, the quality of Katie McCabe and her delivery. And then Rusha going into that holding role, I just think we were more aggressive, picking up second balls, and 4 different goal scorers, clean sheet, like Rihanna said. It's been a real positive performance there in the second half, and something to build on.
Yeah, and much needed, wasn't it? Because, you know, the mood was pretty low after that outing in Slovenia.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the smiles and the delight on everyone's faces there, and I can say, you know, from being in those dressing rooms yourself before, that they were definitely disappointed with how that first half went. But obviously going in with a clean sheet, and there was a glimmer of hope in that first half. They'll be delighted with coming out and setting the tempo and completely dictating that second half. As I said, Greek didn't have any attacking threat. They didn't have any foothold on the game. We were able to pick up the tempo where needed. We were able to stretch them, but we were also able to slow it down in times and just keep possession where it was needed as well. And obviously, as we said, great to build on going into Tuesday's game now as well.
Yeah, Ireland in that winning huddle now. And those changes at half-time, Niamh, Shiva and McCabe in particular coming on. I mean, you see the instant impact and just the influence she has on this team.
Yeah, we all know the quality of Katie McCabe, and when she's in that form and when she's putting it on a sixpence in terms of her delivery, you're just asking for goals, and we saw the impact she had there. So 2 assists more or less. One was an assist before the assist, but yeah, no, she's a huge player for this team, and you know, a luxury to bring her on, I suppose, at halftime. But also the impact that she has. It's a completely different game in that second half when Katie McCabe is on the pitch.
Yeah, and I suppose Carla Ward making those changes when needed.
Yeah, obviously there was the Katie McCabe made an impact. Marissa Shiva obviously made an impact scoring that first goal, and then obviously we've seen at the end Amber crowning it off on her 50th appearance, getting that fourth and final goal. But that's what you want from your bench. Obviously everyone's going to be disappointed, only 11 players can start, but you want to know that you can trust on those remaining players in that squad of 23, that when they're called upon, that they can come in and make the difference in the time that's needed, and those subs, all the subs today, done exactly that.
OK, well, we are going to take a break now, but coming up we will have more reaction and chat and hear from Greek. And episode 4 of Total Football will be available on the RTE player from tomorrow morning. You can catch up on any of the first 3 episodes that you missed on the player as well. Welcome back. Ireland with a 4-0 win over Greece in Crete. Let's hear now from the manager, Carla Ward.
Carla, when managers make changes like that and they're as decisive as they were, they get a lot of credit. So you should get some credit, but also the players that came on, Katie and Marissa, obviously helped change the game.
Yeah, listen, I think it's the players that deserve credit. I think we've, I keep saying it, we've not had long on the grass. They're implementing the amount of things we did in the week that have come to life today, particularly in the second half, was great to see. But they've come on, they've made a huge difference. And, you know, just being able to stretch and play with a little bit more intensity allowed us to dominate the game. And I thought the second half was superb.
How worried were you about the first half, though? Because there was a lack of cohesion and the Greeks had a few breaks that must have concerned you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at half-time, it was actually a really calm message. It was, you know, just remember what we're going after. We probably weren't looking at the spaces we wanted to. We probably weren't looking to stretch them. I think stretching them, you know, gives you the right, earns the right to play. It drops them off. So we needed to do that a little bit more. And when we did that, increase the tempo on the ball, start to engage them a little bit more. And when we did that, I thought it was much better. And, you know, I think they deserve an awful lot of credit because they're, you know, we've had, 7 tactical sessions with the group, and you've got to take your hat off to the players because they're, you know, they're delivering, they're listening, they're putting it into practice, and yeah, second half was superb today.
How much of a risk was it playing Katie? Because you didn't start her because you were managing her minutes. Did you feel that you had to save the game?
Not necessarily. We knew she had 45 in her and there was a choice, do we start her and potentially have to bring her off? But for me, I wanted to try and, you know, go the other way. And look, she's made a massive impact, as has Marissa. But look, I think even those that come on, you know, they've been brilliant too. But I think it was a squad effort. I think everyone's been brilliant.
She brought a calmness to proceedings as well that wasn't there in the first half. How concerned were you at that?
Yeah, look, concerned but not concerned because, look, like I said, there's a lot of new messages going in and, you know, sometimes, you know, on the back of Slovenia as well, there'll be some natural human nerves, you know, we're human beings, it's natural to, you know, doubt a little bit. But it was just a case of stay calm, stick to what we want to go after, and they did that.
Jess Stapleton topped off the performance with a goal, but she got the player of the match as well. She looks like she likes centre half.
Yeah, I said before the game, I think she's got huge potential, and she's just somebody I think is gonna be a top player for this country. And you know what, when she got the goal, I was delighted. But her overall play today was very good, and first time in there, obviously starting in a back four with Patsy, and yeah, she's done herself a world of good.
Marissa Shiva, it's not the first time she's come off the bench and scored an important goal for Ireland, so she has that in her, hasn't she?
Yeah, it's funny because she's, bless her, she's obviously just joined Sunderland and she's had a really heavy couple of weeks, and that was probably a little bit in the decision making, but we know what she's capable of. In the second half, she was brilliant. You know, she's a little live wire in there, isn't she? And she links the play and she causes a little bit more problems. So, yeah, I thought she did tremendously well.
And finally, Amber put her hand up during the week. She wants to play every game. It's her 50th cap, and then she caps that off with a super strike at the end.
Listen, what an individual, what a great human being to work with, Amber is. And, you know, she said to me after, thank you for giving me the opportunity, but actually, thank you for, you know, getting that final goal. But that's what she's capable of, right? She comes on, she's a big moment player. But let me tell you now, what a wonderful character to work with.
Food for thought for Tuesday?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone that came on, you know, caused problems, give us a headache, and but that's good. And I actually said this morning, every single player's been in conversations this camp. This camp has been so far good. But listen, it's a massive game against these again on Tuesday. We have to start in the way that we finished this game, and we have to go and get 3 points again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Carla Ward there. I suppose that message, keep calm and carry on at half-time, it certainly worked.
Yeah, exactly. I think she spoke very well and obviously gave the players a lot of credit. Obviously gave Katie and Marissa Shiva the credit that they deserve coming on. But I think that everyone kind of just stepped it up a notch. They shifted it up a couple of gears, which is exactly what we were asking for at half-time, and kind of showed our quality that we do have at times in that area as well. And it was credit to the team for being able to go up those levels, and as I said, scoring within the first 5 minutes kind of set the tone and allowed them to build even more, taking that pressure off a little bit more as well.
Yeah, there was no panic, you know, they knew they could dig that result out.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, but coming off the back of a 4-0 loss, it's not going to be easy. Confidence probably necessarily wasn't too high. I think, like you said, scoring so quickly after half-time settled a lot of nerves, and then, yeah, credit to all the players. They really stepped it up a gear, and the quality shone through. So, yeah, a lot of credit goes to the players and obviously to Carla for making those changes at half-time.
All right, well, let's take a look then at that breakthrough goal. Shiva just on the pitch and a much-needed goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Niamh, you said it when we came back just at the end of the game there, that we were winning second balls, and that's exactly where that ball came from. We were a little bit fortunate in the shape of the deflection, but as Maeve said on comms, if you don't shoot, you don't score, and sometimes you have to create your own luck. So credit to Marissa Shiva for being in the right position and obviously having the confidence to go on and take that strike as well.
Yeah. It really turned things around, Niamh, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and like I said, she does, as Carla's mentioned, she causes problems with her movement, and it was a little bit static, and I think her going in there, being busy, being the live wire that she is, caused that disruption. And yeah, she's, you know, a bit fortuitous in terms of how the goal actually went in, but credit to her, she came on, she made a massive impact.
Okay, well, we can hear from her now. Here's Marissa Shiva.
Marissa, congratulations once again. You've come off the bench and got a goal, but also helped get Ireland a good result.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, more excited about the result, bouncing back from last camp. But yeah, it was a good result.
You showed a lot of energy.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of my trademark. Get on the field, show lots of energy, try to get the best out of the people around me.
How difficult was it at half-time? Because the first half was not good for Ireland, was it?
No, and I think it was a little bit jarring for us because it wasn't what we were seeing during the week. I mean, this was an amazing first week of camp for us, especially bouncing back from our last camp. So I think we weren't expecting that first half. So yeah, we knew that we needed to make some changes, just attitude-wise and how aggressive we were coming into the second half.
And you were kind of further forward supporting Denise a lot as well, weren't you?
Yeah, Denise and I got to have some fun today and be a little bit further forward, which we enjoy, and we both get to take a couple shots on goal, so that's always fun.
Tell us about the move. It's been a big moment for you, really, starting with Sunderland and moving to England.
Yeah, it has been a big move. Yeah, I've been in England for about a week now, and then came right into camp. But yeah, it's been good. I've been taking it in stride. There's a lot of girls on the Ireland team that play in England, so just been leaning on them a lot. And yeah, Sunderland's been amazing. They've been super supportive, and so is Ireland.
Have you enough energy for Tuesday?
Of course, always, yeah.
Well done tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marissa. Really appreciate it. Well done.
Yeah, good outing for her. Are we seeing a bit more from her game now than we did when she first joined up with the squad?
Yeah, I think so. Initially, when she came in, I think Tony spoke about it there, she brought energy, but I think that there's intent with that energy now. I think we were talking at half-time that we need a little bit more width, or we need a little bit more runs in behind, and I think that she's really good at making runs from central into those wider pockets in the channels, and it allows players to come in and receive the ball, but it also brings space for other players, and I think that she is growing kind of the more minutes that she gets, and obviously the goal here today, and hopefully getting regular minutes now with Sunderland, we can benefit from that, because we need our full squad, and we've seen it. We needed to turn to the bench today, and whether she starts or comes off the bench, I think hopefully she's another player that we can lean on.
Yeah, Niamh, you played with her. What do you think she brings?
Yeah, well, you can see from her interview, like, she's bubbly personality. She's very positive, and you can see that in how she plays. She does cause chaos in there with, her movement. Sometimes it can be a bit erratic at times. So I think for her game, it's probably just fine-tuning the movements in terms of when and how she gets into the pockets. But she does disrupt defences, and she brings that energy, and she brought that attacking threat in the second half, which we desperately needed.
Okay, well, let's take a look at that second goal now in that second half. This one, a great ball in from McCabe.
Yeah, we spoke about the quality of McCabe, but I just think her getting out of that situation with quick feet, it's just class from Katie McCabe, and that ball is superb. Leanne Kiernan just brilliant to get into that area and, shoot across into that far corner, which forces the keeper to parry, and Ciara Cruza does a great job in following up, but just that ball is absolute perfection, and it's a goal of real quality.
Yeah, I think it's great from Ciara, from a centre forward's perspective, being in the right place at the right time and being alert to that second ball, because if she's caught on her heels, then it's an easy clearance. But once again, the quality from Katie is unmatched there, and we spoke about Leanne coming in from that back post, and she's probably unlucky not to score herself.
Okay, well, let's now hear from our player of the match. Here's Jessie Stapleton.
Yes, and Jess Stapleton is the Sky player of the match. Gareth Maher from the FAI presenting her with the award. And Jess, congratulations on the performance, which is the reason you got the award, and a goal to top it off as well.
Yeah, tough conditions today with the weather and stuff, but I think we came in half time and we knew that we had to be better in the second half, so we turned it over and got the 4 goals. Very
mature performance from you, would you say?
Yeah, I like to think so. I think when you come into camps like this, all the older girls look after you, and from spending nearly every day with them, I learned so much off them. So it's a credit to them and the staff around me for giving me the opportunity as well and putting the trust in me at this young age.
Playing centre half, sometimes you've been playing in midfield. Is that a place you want to claim a permanent stake now?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I play centre back with clubs, so it's what I do week in, week out. But again, there's loads of good quality within this team, so wherever I'm needed, I'll always play there.
Second half was quite a turnaround. How important was the substitutions at half-time, Katie and Marissa coming on?
Yeah, I think the depth we have in the squad is incredible. Obviously the 2 girls coming on changed the game, brought that bit of energy that we needed, and we went and won the game.
That goal then, I've seen you score it before.
Yeah, it's my second goal for Ireland. This one's a bit cleaner than the last one, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, tell us about it.
We were obviously working on sort of set pieces in training, and just flicked it on the back post.
Excellent. So you've got the double header, you've got the same opposition again. You'll hope to start again, I'm sure, will you?
Yeah, I hope so. It's the manager's decision at the end of the day, but anytime I'm on the pitch, I just do all I can, and if that's good enough, hopefully I'll be there on the pitch on Tuesday.
Well, it was tonight. Well done, Jess.
Thanks very much.
Jessie Stapleton. Well, let's take a look at that goal now. Rihanna, talk us through it.
Yeah, she took the goal very well. As she said, it's something that they've been working on. It's nice movement to the front post, and I think you can see it better from the next angle, but it's a fantastic flick on from Jessie. She knows exactly where she is and right height to loop it in under the crossbar. But we've seen that with Jessie for years in the Women's National League, and it's great to see it now on the international level. As she said, it's her second goal for Ireland, and I think if she continues the way she's going and keeps being in that squad, I think that she can be a force to be reckoned with for set pieces as well.
Yeah. What about her position, Niamh? Where do you think is the best spot for her?
I think she's definitely a centre half. Obviously, she's got a lot of quality on the ball, and we've seen her do that role in the middle, but just her characteristics as well, I think she's suited to that centre half position, and she's only 20 years old, and it's so difficult for a player to come into a centre half position. There's a lot of organisation and experience needed, but she's so mature beyond her years. I think that centre back position is definitely one that she can, stake her own in and be, a player there for years to come for Ireland and do a great job. She had a fantastic game today.
Yeah, mature and assured, as Maeve said in commentary. It is really great to see a younger player like that coming through and having such a good performance.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great that we're having these conversations about a 20-year-old saying where is her best position that she can feature in both. But as Niamh said, obviously you know yourself from being a centre-back, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not just your defensive skill, but it's the organisation of those in front of you. But I've been really impressed with her execution on the ball, and I think that's going to be really vital for us as we continue to grow as a team and we continue to be a nation that, as we've said and as everyone says, we want to dominate possession and we want to secure ourselves in those situations. And I think that being able to do that at such a young age, that she'll only grow from strength to strength, and it's great to see.
Yeah, hopefully she'll have a big role going forward. We have a final break to take, but stay with us. We've got more chat, analysis and reaction coming up. Ireland celebrating a win in Crete. So let's round up the goals. Niamh, take us through Amber Barrett's. She came on, celebrated her 50th cap with a nice goal.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to celebrate your 50th cap. And to be honest, this brought me back to Scotland and Hampden Park and Amber pulling away from Sophie Howard. And it's a great goal. I mean, she drives into the space, and you know, the angle that she comes into, it sets her up perfectly, and it's a great finish into the bottom corner. And she's come on and she's putting pressure on Ciara Carusa for that number 9 spot. So she's taken her chances here, and it just shows as well the competition within the squad as well. And I think Amber, you know, as a player and as a person, she's a fantastic character. And yeah, it's a front somersault for the celebration. So great way to mark the 50th, and delighted for Amber.
Yeah, certainly is. Well, let's hear from her now. Amber has been chatting to Tony.
Amber Barrett, congratulations. 50 caps now for Ireland. Another goal to the tally. You didn't have long to prove yourself, but yet you did.
Yeah, I think most important was we got a brilliant result today. First half probably wasn't great, but we came out in the second half and really showed a good account of ourselves. And you know, I think the subs made a massive impact. So I knew that when I was getting the nod, you know, I had a job to do after Ciara's performance. So look, it's brilliant. You know, 50 appearances, and like I said to you during the week, I want more goals. And yeah, I'm immensely proud. And yeah, it's been a long time coming.
You held your hand up, and you need to back it up when you do that, and you did.
Yeah, but that's what I said to you. Like, it's easy to say you want this, you want that. Like, when you get the opportunity, you have to make it count. And like I said, the girls that didn't start today all had a brilliant attitude, and the girls that came on were all, you know, brilliant. They brought the standard up in the second half, and exactly what we needed. So everybody knows on Tuesday it's not going to be a walk in the park. So next couple of days, recover and get the standards right again.
How concerned were the squad at half-time with the first half performance?
I don't think it was concern. I think it was more probably frustration, because I think it was ourselves that were, you know, was letting the game get away from us. Just small moments, like I said, take care of the ball. It doesn't matter what team you are. If you're giving away 5-6 yard passes, teams are going to punish. And I think Greece, you know, very, very much dominated the first half. But I think when we came in at half-time, the first thing, you know, Courtney came in, she said, everybody just take a breath. And I think you just needed people to calm down and just reset. Carly came in and did her bits, and then everybody was raring to go then, and that was it then.
How important, though, was Katie coming back into the team? And obviously she had a bit of a strain. There was a concern there as well.
Yeah, of course. And like, that's, you know, something that's been talked about a long time for how important Katie is for us. And there's absolutely no question that she is. Her importance for the team is, you know, you can't question it. But I think it also shows that when she's not able to start a game, you know, other players need to step up. And I think the girls did that. But also, you know, if you look to a bench and you have Katie McCabe on it, like, it's obviously not a bad day out. So look, it's like I said, the girls that came on all made a big impact. The girls that started worked their arses off as well. So we keep going and we push for Tuesday.
Before I let you go, let's just talk about the goal again, because it was inside your own half that you picked it up, and then you just went for it. The afterburners came on.
Yeah, I think honestly, just as soon as just when Abby picked it up, I had a wee check over my shoulder, and I think when the defender follows me in that deep, I just know that I've a good 40-50 metres to run, and I always back myself in those situations. So It's funny because when I got into the box, Denise was screaming at me. She was, pass it, and I was like, Denise, not today, lad, not today. So I was thinking about the big toe, but it was probably too far out on the other side. But most important thing is to find the bottom of the corner. And look, 4-0 defeat against Slovenia. We've got our 4 goals back tonight, which is extremely important.
And 50 caps, and here's to 50 more for you. Well done.
It is. And can I just also send condolences to the Healy family on the anniversary of Colin Wife's passing this time last year. So best to Colin, and that result was for you. Yeah, thank you.
Always good to hear from Amber Barrett. She speaks so well. What about her role now, Rihanna? Is she always going to be restricted to this impact role? I mean, it's a very important one.
I think it's hard to know. I think she does such a fantastic job coming off the bench, and she's come up with some key goals, and obviously it was great for her to come on in towards the end of the game and get that finish. But I think she summed it up very nicely there, that everybody wants to play, everybody thinks they should be playing, but it's about when you are given that opportunity that you go and take it with both hands. And I think that the more that Amber does it, she'll be able to go and knock on that door and ask why she's not starting. But also the more that the subs do it when they get the opportunity, it'll drive the standards, it'll drive the level, and the starting 11 will have to improve, and they'll have to be consistent, have to be performing well if they want to keep their spot, and that'll only allow for the team and that squad to continue to grow and to continue to put on performances like we did in that second half.
Yeah, so it's on to Tala on Tuesday. More of the same. What would you like to see?
More of the same the second half. Consistency, really. We want a 90-minute performance. You know, our first camp, those 2 games were very underwhelming, so that second half is something to build on. So Tuesday now is going to be about putting a 90-minute performance in, not dropping standards and keeping that level. And yeah, I think it's important that, you know, you don't get too complacent in any international game, because you can get punished. But yeah, more of the same. The second half would be nice for Tuesday, over 90 minutes.
Yeah, we wanted the 6 points from these 2. That's looking very likely now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 1 from 1 so far, and that's all you can do. Is like your most important game is the game in front of you, and they've got the job done today, albeit in the second half. But as Niamh says, we'll be looking to bring those standards and that energy and that performance from the second half into those first 45 in Tala and see where that takes us.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. That is our lot, though, for this afternoon. My thanks to Rihanna and Niamh for their company. We are back on Tuesday night live from Tala to see if Ireland can make it back-to-back wins over the Greeks.